Saturday in Chicago. It is WWE Survivor Series War Games, the second edition of WWE Survivor Series War Games, and it is one of the most anticipated WWE events on the calendar year this year for multiple reasons, and it does feel like Triple H and crew are trying to bring back the prestige of WWE's second longest running premium live event, that being Survivor Series. I believe this show will kick off with the Women's War Games match, which of course features Damage Control, which now includes Asuka, Kairi Sane, along with Bayley and the Women's Champion Io Sky. They will take on the team of Bianca Belair, Shotzi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch from the Monday Night Raw brand. Now, this bout all came about really starting at SummerSlam, of course, when Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, and Asuka, excuse me for a second, I was pointing down for a second. Asuka, Bianca Belair, Charlotte Flair did that triple threat match at SummerSlam for the Women's Championship. Then Io Sky cashed in the Money in the Bank. I almost said that Io Sky was in that match because then Io Sky, Charlotte Flair, and Bianca Belair, they did compete in a triple threat match for the Women's Championship that Io Sky did win. But now, obviously, Charlotte, Bianca, Shotzi now, who of course has been involved with Bayley for months and a few, they all want the revenge on Damage Control, and Becky Lynch has a history with Damage Control going back to their inception last year. So does Bianca Belair, obviously, who's been fighting with Damage Control from the beginning, and Charlotte just recently over the championship. Now, the addition of Asuka and Kairi Sane in Damage Control has brought a little light to Damage Control. I know for a long time we thought that, Bayley, Io, Dakota, they were all going to break up. I think they're saving it for when Dakota Kai is healthy. I think we're going to eventually get, Dakota Kai, Io Sky, Bayley in a triple threat match, more than likely at WrestleMania 40 between all three will then be former members of Damage Control. But for now, I think WWE needs to establish Damage Control as credible heels. Last year, they lost in War Games to a team of Bianca Belair. Now, Asuka was on Team Belair. This year, I think Asuka being on Team Damage Control makes the difference. Now, the team with the advantage in this match is going to be a fan vote, which to me is a little bit of lazy booking by WWE. But I get that they have a sponsorship with Ruffles. You got to make your sponsors happy. And I like the men's match where the heels are going to get the War Games advantage. I always think going into it that the heels, the way that heels in wrestling work, the way their tactics go, I always think that that's how the War Games advantage should go. The heels should basically get the advantage in every single War Games match, unless you're trying to get a surprise for the end, a lot like Roman Reigns last year inside of War Games. So I did vote for Damage Control to get the advantage. Again, I think it makes sense for their characters. I think that they will get the advantage, but again, with fan votes, who knows? It probably will go to the baby faces, but I do think Damage Control does pick up the victory here. Then we get Carlito trying to avenge the attack the former LWO member Santos Escobar put on him and his friend Rey Mysterio after essentially Escobar cost Rey Mysterio the United States Championship to Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. But if you remember, Rey shouldn't even have been the United States champion in the first place. It was Santos Escobar that got that opportunity against Austin Theory. But an injury to Escobar allowed Rey Mysterio to substitute himself in for Escobar. And ever since that moment, they've been building to this turn. Escobar being jealous of Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio essentially taking the Legado del Fantasma group away from Santos Escobar and reviving the LWO. Well, now we're going to get basically two factions eventually going at it, where Santos Escobar will reform Legado del Fantasma, whether that's with Cruz and Del Toro. We don't know whether that's with, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. We don't know. It sounds like Carlito is going to be on Rey Mysterio's side eventually. But Carlito and Santos Escobar have been at odds since Carlito made his return to WWE, not only at Backlash in May, but when he made that appearance at Fastlane back in October. So I think that Santos Escobar is going to win this match. It could be by disqualification. They give the win to Carlito, but I think Escobar absolutely brutalizes Carlito here, and it sets up Escobar well for his very good heel run that I think we're about to have. Santos really never got over as a legit face. He was a lot better as a heel, in my opinion. And that heel promo he cut, where basically he said a lot of bad words to Carlito in Spanish that I cannot repeat, and then he hoped that Rey Mysterio's leg was going to be amputated. That was a great heel promo by Santos Escobar, and I'm excited to see where they take the character. Now, this next match I'm really excited for. That's The Miz going for his 9th tying Intercontinental Championship reign. That would again tie him with Chris Jericho for the most Intercontinental Championship reigns of all time, but he is taking on a man that does not celebrate Thanksgiving, a man that does not celebrate the holidays, the man that actually believes that wrestling is a sport, the man that trains 365 days a year to retain the Intercontinental Championship, that being obviously the ring general Gunther. And man, when has Gunther ever had a bad match? And when you get a motivated Miz, who I think Miz, he can play a face, though not as well as a heel, but he can do it. He can play a heel. He can play a comedy character. He can play a serious character. Miz can do so many different things in a wrestling ring. But when the spotlight is on him, when he is invested in a feud, Miz is still one of the best mid-carders out there, and this is a great story because Gunther has brought prestige back to the Intercontinental Championship. That has not been with the championship since the Miz's days of holding it, arguably in 2016 through 2018. The Miz has always been synonymous with the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I don't think Miz is going to win the championship here, but I think him and Gunther are going to have a hell of a match. I think these boys, along with the War Games matches, could steal the show at Survivor Series. Then we get Zoe Starks, who after winning a battle royal, after just coming up short at Crown Jewel in that fatal 5-way match, she gets mommy Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Championship one-on-one. And Zoe Starks has really had a good transformation. Over the last few months since stepping away from Trish Stratus, in my opinion at least, she's really done a good job of breaking out on her own. Her promo work has gotten better. Her in-ring work has gotten better. And I like this face dynamic that they kind of have. It's a little bit of a tweener with her and Shayna Baszler, where she doesn't care what the fans think, but they're cheering for her because her personality is starting to come out more, but she just wants to kick some ass. And the story here is Rhea Ripley is so distracted by Judgment Day business, she's not keeping an eye on Zoe Starks, which I think makes incredible sense. It makes Zoe Starks look like a dangerous character. I think Zoe Starks is going to hit a Z-Force, which she hit on Rhea Ripley at Crown Jewel, but this time Rhea Ripley will kick out, and then Rhea Ripley will end up hitting the Riptide for the victory, and what I think will be a very underrated match. I think that these guys, have very good chemistry in the ring, and they will make it work at Survivor Series on Saturday. Then we get to the main event of the show, which is, of course, the men's War Games match. Team Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, the I Lost to Roman Reigns Club will team with the Viper, the returning, the man that hears voices in his head, Randy Orton, against the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre, who I really love Drew McIntyre's heel promo this past week on Raw, that vendetta against Jey Uso that he's had since Jey Uso's family cost Drew McIntyre a moment to celebrate with his family at Clash of the Castle 2022, when McIntyre was this close to winning the Undisputed Championship from Roman Reigns, arguably the closest anybody has came to dethroning Roman Reigns if it wasn't for Solo Sikoa. I think the whole story makes sense. I don't think Drew McIntyre is going to end up joining the Judgment Day in the long run, but I think McIntyre as a heel here, going after Jey Uso, which I'm assuming the feud will continue, as McIntyre just laid waste to Jey Uso in that War Games Advantage match, even winning the match with his old finisher, the Future Shock DDT. I really like a heel Drew McIntyre. I thought his babyface persona was getting a little bit stale. Maybe they get rid of that sword. McIntyre becomes the ass kicker that he was brought in with Dolph Ziggler in 2018 when he returned to WWE with, and McIntyre just becomes a legitimate badass again and potentially gets himself another match with Seth Rollins in the World Heavyweight Championship. Speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, there's Money in the Bank implications here. I don't think the Judgment Day is going to cash in. There's so many stories in regards to this match. Obviously, the Judgment Day, they want to get rid of Sami Zayn. They want to get rid of Jey Uso. They want to get rid of Seth Rollins, who's had interactions with almost every single member of the Judgment Day. The new Cody Rhodes is trying to help his friend Jey Uso. Jey Uso has friends in Sami Zayn. And the wild card in all of it is obviously Cody Rhodes' friend, the Viper Randy Orton. But Randy Orton was taken out by Jey Uso in May of 2022. We have not seen the Viper in 18 months. How does he react to seeing Jey Uso now on that side and not with the bloodline? Has he been watching from afar? Does he respect Jey? All that story will come into play. In the end, and I would not do this because I think Randy Orton needs to go on a big babyface run. I want to see Randy Orton eventually take on Roman Reigns for the Undisputed Championship. But at the end of the day, I think it's very possible that Judgment Day wins this match because Randy Orton will turn on Cody Rhodes. And we get that feud that make ultimate at the Royal Rumble when Cody Rhodes potentially goes on to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40. I think we are getting a face Cody Rhodes versus a heel Randy Orton. Again, I would not do it. I would wait. But it is in Randy Orton's character here. And I think if the Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre win this match, it will make the Judgment Day even stronger heels going forward as they try to build credibility. Or who knows, maybe Randy Orton jumps right into a world championship program with Seth Rollins. Maybe he turns on Rollins with an RKO and we get that program going into the Royal Rumble season. As a bonus prediction, will CM Punk show up? That's the biggest question. Obviously, it's in Chicago. We know it's what went on with him and AEW backstage when you were in rumblings. He was in talks to return to WWE. We've been hearing rumblings. WWE is not interested. I am on the record. This may be heart over matter here, but I do think maybe CM Punk, returns from a Shinsuke Nakamura call out, if you will, and CM Punk will be at Survivor Series in Chicago. So to recap, I do think Damage Control wins the Women's War Games match. Santos Escobar will defeat Carlito. Gunther, in this sport that he loves, retains the Intercontinental Championship against The Miz. Rhea Ripley retains the Women's World Championship against Zoe Starks. Judgment Day and Drew McIntyre win the Men's War Game match when Randy Orton turns on somebody. I don't know if it's Cody Rhodes, don't know if it's Seth Rollins yet, as well as I do think CM Punk, Chick Magnet Punk, Pepsi Phil Punk shows up at Survivor Series. Like that clip from the Brand's World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brand's World podcast right here on YouTube.